That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right. Welcome to Straight Red Car. Brett reminded me there wasn't a, lead-in intro to the show, and that was good because I am fucked up. All right. I hope that 30-second intro worked.
It was a really long live stream we just did. Well, it's actually about on par.
Yeah.
It was fascinating that we went to cover the roster. We didn't do it for the first 40 minutes. And then once we got to the roster, it was like bam, 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 bam,
Oh, God. I think we covered Brooks for 30 minutes, at least.
Yeah, we had some some splits where we jumped over to a different topic here and there. Super chats came in.
It's not so much because of Brooks. It's really because it reveals how big of a fucking bullshitter Berhalter is. So there's that, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we covered it, because we had to cover everything that Brooks said in his response. It's fair. We got to hear that. But I don't think Brooks gets it. Berhalter really knows why he isn't calling Brooks up. But
of course.
Anyhow, for this show, we're going to be covering... Well, let's start out with ESPN's bullshit coverage today, because it sucked. And then it was really funny to see Seb post what he posted today about ESPN's own coverage of fucking the game. Here we go. Sebastian Salazar, that is Herc's, teammate at Football Americas. When you want the ESPN platform, but not the Football Americas smoke. I mean, I love how ballsy that is.
Yeah, it's funny in the sense that USSF picks a platform and doesn't go to the soccer specific side of it. But then again, it's not so surprising because Herc came out many times over the past couple months and have flat out stated, we don't get any coverage from USSF anymore because we're a little critical.
Who did?
Herc.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's right. Yeah. And listen,
surprise.
There would have been some real questions about this roster had it come out on Football Americas, or if it came out on ESPN FC. There might have been some questions. And, I know a lot of people don't like that show. That's fine. You don't have to like it. I watch it because, there's certain topics they discuss that I think are important. But yeah, it's not going to be on that kind of show. They had Taylor Tight Shirt Twellman for 2 minutes, maybe a minute and 30.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Say, the sad aspect of it is, and Filippo talked about in his show, is the coverage was 5 minutes and they moved on. And I'm you have, and I'm not saying that USSF needs to go ahead and grant us any form of privileges by any means, but you have all these independent content creators, whether it's the independent side of things, whether it's like Pete, Filippo, us, Sam, etc., Jake, everybody like that. Or, even going into not necessarily mainstream, but even still talking about some of the podcasts that are still independent, Best Soccer Show, Scuffed, etc., that type of stuff.
Can you imagine? But if they announced this roster tonight with a StreamYard with all of our shows on the left and allowed us to ask this question about the roster? It would be tantalizing.
It would definitely send a message, and I think it would be much more beneficial for them in the end, because even though we may be critical at times, we ask questions that need to be asked,
and they would have to answer questions that need to be answered.
Oh, God forbid.
Okay,
if you don't want us, the literal nobodies on the internet, why not reach out to, say, the CBS crew, the Paramount crew? That would have been a great one to have. Throw it up on Paramount. Give it to Kay Galazzo. Give it to Sebastian.
Throw Lawless up there too.
Fuck it. What? You guys have a fucking platform. You guys have a YouTube channel. Get people on there and talk about this shit.
Yeah.
We talk about the how horrible they are at social media. Horrible. They should have a whole media crew out there providing videos on interviews with players, talking about all sorts of shit nonstop. Their YouTube channel should be flooding with content, but they don't, and that's the biggest miss in their end.
It's a total miss, and it's like their whole marketing team before they entered the building in Chicago.
Let's get a billboard up,
in the morning. It's like, okay, are you ready to come in the building? They're like, yeah. Okay, we're gonna punch you in the face. Okay, punch me in the face. It's like every person that goes in the building are punched in the face. Like they have no fucking clue how to market. They have no fucking clue how to reach the average avid American soccer fan or even semi-avid soccer fan. They are so inauthentic. They have no transparency. They don't give a fuck. This is a game for them. This whole shit, all this is a game to them. They're following some fucking notebook of, okay, here's how you market to this age group, 15 to 30. This is how you market to 31 to 40. Here's how you market from 41 to 50. These guys are fucking idiots. What you do is you tune into the passion of the fans and you give them what they want. It's not that hard. You fucking idiots. Get a clue. Quit giving ESPN something they don't give two shits about.
Yeah.
ESPN gives no shits, zero shits about the U.S. men's national team. Zero shits. Zero.
Well, and have you been to the YouTube channel recently?
Are you talking about U.S. Soccer?
Yeah, U.S. Soccer's.
It's awful.
So their channel of recent, because we've gone through this large spell of no men's national team games since the last window, of course, and in between after the men's the Winterfest over in Minnesota to now was the She Believes Cup. So they obviously had a bunch of women's national team videos up there.
A lot.
They had some like 66 videos up there. It was a ridiculous number. But if you look at the content itself, it was the highlights of each game. It was individual goals of each game. And then they had like a couple of sprinkled in like, behind the scenes type of shit during the practices. And then the rest was all pressers. I'm like, that's not how you run a social media. They should legitimately have like a 5 to 7 second or 5 to 7 minute like interview, like just like a sit down, shoot the shit with each individual player on that roster. If you're going to talk about like a month long spell there, because they had like a 2-3 week training session before the women or before the She Believes, they should have had every single one of those players on there just shooting the shit with somebody that's having fun. And they should have been all this different type of content. It is just a wasted opportunity.
No, they waste the whole site because obviously, even if they did do those, they wouldn't really want the players to actually shoot shit. They would want them to pucker up and say the fucking shit they're supposed to say. And that goes for the men and it goes for the women.
I don't even care if they do the interview and they go in there and say, hey, what type of music do you listen to? Oh, you listen to rap? Who's your favorite artist?
Dude, I'd love that.
What's your favorite fucking Pokemon? I don't give a rat's ass. Get a
What's
little
your
personal
favorite band?
Yeah. Seriously. Let's get personal. Let's take soccer out of the equation. Let's get to know these people a little bit better. That would be great content.
I love that shit at Werder Bremen and when they used to have Surgeon on there with whomever other player, and they would be asking him ridiculous questions about anything but soccer. I found that fascinating because it lets me understand who they are, like their favorite movie, their favorite band, and I don't need these guys to tell me about everything happening in their soccer world, which is why I rarely watch interviews on other channels with players. And we used to do interviews with ex-players. Listen, they're a little bit puckered, and it's just not. I don't want to put them in a bad situation. You don't either.
No.
Where they're going to answer and say something stupid. So.
It's funny because you brought up Bremen as an example when Sargent did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
Leipzig did something very similar with Adams, and Adams went around to each individual player on the Leipzig team and handed them their FIFA card. Like it was a nice FIFA plaque card, you know, and it showed all their stats. And each individual time, Adams would go up like, "Hey, here's your card. I see you got like a 40 in passing. What the fuck's up with that?" You know, they just battle back and forth, and then they look at like Adams got his, and he has got like a 40% in shooting. And it's like, everybody's like, "Bro, do you even shoot?" You know?
Yeah, these are natural reactions.
Yeah.
Thus, it's authentic. Everything that U.S. soccer does is so fucking constipated.
It's so robotic.
So robotic, and so listen, it's like unpucker. Unpucker your fucking assholes and learn how to be authentic. Don't plan it out. Just say, hey, listen, we're going to go film some shit. We're going to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get people excited because we're having a good time so they can have a good time. But that's not what they do. And, you know, you see this kind of marketing all over the fucking country anyhow. Everything's so pre-planned and pre-plotted, and there's no... like, let's have some fun here.
There was a video. It must have been, I don't know if it was Gold Cup or one of the friendlies prior, where Gioacchini got the camera for USSF and was walking around just talking to the players. And there was a whole thing with like him and it must have been Ream, maybe. I think it may have been Ream, where they were doing some like dude perfect shit with like frisbees, or I don't know what the fuck it was. It was something. Mm-hmm. But again, I watched that entire thing. I loved the content because it was real. And it wasn't just sort of like hey, we're at a photo shoot. Look how funny they are. And he's like, you know, it's like, oh, okay, that was great.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
It's getting old, guys. You need to loosen the anal muscles and just loosen up and have a good time. That's what people care about. People don't want to watch your bullshit fucking interviews and whatever else you do and know that it's like already pre-scripted, because it sounds like it is.
But it's funny because everybody that we have onto our show, you know, whether it's the quote unquote internet nobodies like us, you know, or you talk about former players, we bring on like Conrad, etc. Yep. But everybody comes on here after the show, they're like, oh, dude, that was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I don't think we've ever had anybody say like, yeah, dude, that kind of sucked. I'm not going to come back here again.
Yeah.
But everybody talks about how much fun, because we kind of have a plan, but we do a lot of shooting from the hip, you know?
Yeah, and we will put people in uncomfortable situations, and they'll answer it the best they can at the time. But at least we'll try. I think Jimmy was on our show. He's pretty honest about it. I think Max said, yes, it's a game for access, and it's a game you got to play.
Yeah.
So we'll keep having people on that will answer the question for the most part. Now, there's only so far they can possibly go, obviously. But are we having Michael Cameraman on the show anytime soon? Probably not. I don't think he'd come on this show.
Mike, if you want to come on the show, man, let us know. I think you'll have a lot of fun.
He would have fun. I don't know if we would, but
we could.
He might call us out.
Derek, I can't imagine us having a show where we don't have fun. There's always enough alcohol.
Listen, if he agreed to come on our show, that would be such a massive step for them, like theoretically, as far as the way they operate. It would be amazing. It would be like, yeah, okay, we're losing the narrative battle with independent media. It's out of our hands, so we at least got to make these guys our friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to make them our friends, let's just do it. Listen, it'd be the smartest move you could make, honestly. It could, by saying, listen, I'll take all the criticism. I'll take the hard questions. I'll answer them the best I can. Probably some things I can't say, but I'll come on your show. I'll take the heat. So, Michael, if you're out there, hey, let's do it. I'm willing to do it. You're probably going to be not unhappy,
one of us.
Not going to be 100% happy with us. But listen, a lot of what we say is in jest. It's in jest.
I mean, we describe ourselves as two idiots with microphones.
No, you do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But that's the point. The point is while we know we have our knowledge on the field itself, we tend to approach it with a sense of humor and joke about it. And if I could say, yeah, we're two idiots with a microphone, what can somebody who wants to criticize us really say?
Yeah, that we're idiots?
You are idiots with microphones. I'm like,
it's fine.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
I've been called worse in my day, so.
That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right.